雲戸ドラゴンは史上最強。お前らちゃんと聞け。
The author of Kagura Bachi popped a rare candy and leveled up in almost every single department. If you've seen either or both of my previous videos on Kagura Bachi, then you know that I've been pretty level-headed about the manga. I think the memes are funny, I love the subreddit, but I'm judging it based on actual content. I thought chapter 1 was somewhere in between solid and very good. Chapter 2 is already a level up. I was legitimately impressed and entertained all the way through. Let's break down what happened in this chapter. It kicks off with Shiba releasing the hostage from the anti-Kurogumi movement. Chihiro has the Kurogumi leader at sword point and is asking him for information on Hishaku. That's the group of sorcerers backing the gang. Shiba hops over to play good cop and help Chihiro get information. All they have to go on so far is that Hishaku started making moves 4 years ago and that they're a small group of elite sorcerers. He asked the boss specifically about someone named Banai. The boss reluctantly starts to cooperate, but suddenly his face starts doing that Men in Black skin suit thing, and what looks like branches just started busting out of his body. Some of the branches chase Chihiro, who tells the former hostage and Shiba to get to safety. Chihiro cuts the branches that were chasing him down, and then Shiba grabs the hostage guy's shirt. He does the 2-finger pose that the Mystery Tree Sorcerer from chapter 1 did, and then suddenly they both teleport outside. So Shiba can practice sorcery, but it's unclear if it's an innate ability, or maybe he's using some type of object imbued with sorcery, possibly made by Kunishige, Chihiro's father. Shiba heads back in to help Chihiro. Side note, Shiba has this Gojo-like commitment to keeping his hands in his pocket. Anyway, back to it. Chihiro asks if that former hostage guy's okay. Shiba says he's fine, just a little bit sick. Chihiro figures that because the Kurogumi boss was about to speak about the Hishaku, it activated a spell to kill him and the person who was asking questions. Shiba says he's thinking of going to Tokyo. Chihiro says he'll join, but then Chihiro starts stumbling around as they walk off because he's worn out. And then Shiba comments on how impressive it was that he pulled all of this off when he had 0 combat experience up until 3 years ago. He hasn't fully mastered the Yoto, but he's learning quickly. Yoto is the name of the katanas Kunishige made imbued with sorcery. We get a bit more info on what happened around Kunishige's death. Kunishige put up a barrier around his home and workshop to hide from the outside world. Shiba said he could tell something was wrong with the barrier, so he rushed over that day. When he showed up, Chihiro was grieving, bawling, crying over his father's body, and both the house and workshop were destroyed. Chihiro was holding a katana in his right hand, and he tells Shiba sorcerers did this. We see moments earlier with Chihiro watching from the rubble as 3 sorcerers surround his father. One looks like the tree guy from chapter 1, other 2 are a mystery. Chihiro passed out. When he regains consciousness, Kunishige is dead. We learned that Kunishige forged 6 blades for use during the war. He retrieved them after the war and hid them in his workshop. The sorcerers took the 6 blades, also known as Yoto. Each blade has a special power, so I'm very interested to see if these 6 blades have powers that are related to things that were important to Kunishige, or if they go beyond elemental type powers. Do the characteristics adjust based on the type of characteristics the wielder has? All that stuff is going to be super interesting. They can do so much with this power system and framework, so I'm very excited. We get a flashback to when Kunishige tells Chihiro that the blades aren't ideal. He shouldn't blindly aim to create powerful Yoto. He needs to figure out what kind of katana he should make and for what purpose. Interestingly, Kunishige says he's searching too and offers to learn together with Chihiro little by little. Clearly, he has regrets or reservations about creating these weapons that were such effective killing tools. Fast forward to Kunishige's death and we see Chihiro bawling over Kunishige's body. Then Chihiro says to Shiba, "Who were the guys that did this? Do they know how seriously he took his swords?" No funny, I felt like my chest tightened. I can't even explain it, but you know what it's like when a character says something like that. I just thought that this was the perfect line to simultaneously show how surprising this was for Chihiro, how meaningless it seems, how young Chihiro was. It's a very teenage comment. How hard it is to process what's going on, and ultimately how much he loved and respected his father. It's one of those lines that says a little but does a lot, and that is when the binding vow was made. Stephen Avery making a murderer. Chihiro vows to make them understand his father's conviction. There was a funny thing that caught my attention. Shiba said he's sorry if only he had come sooner. It's not the wrong thing to say, but something about it felt off. Or maybe it's just not the right time when he said it. I need to learn more about Shiba's personality before I can make any judgments on that particular statement. But bigger picture, now we know where the scar comes from, and we know why Chihiro wants to kill them all. So this is great because it's no longer just basic revenge plot. To honor his father's memory, Chihiro has to get the Yoto blades out of circulation or out of the hands of people who might have ill intention. It's a little bit more layered than just avenge father's death. They get to Tokyo. While Chihiro is deep in thought, Shiba pops in to say there was a report filed of a mystical sword. My dog Chihiro says, let's go. Chapter ends. I'm not gonna hold you a minute. I'm taking my talents to the Kagurabachi cult. I like this chapter a lot. I don't care if it's overhyped or not. If I like a series, I read it. Currently, I like the series. It's not rocket science. If I stop liking it, I'll stop reading it. I do think the level of detail in the art style has already improved. They're doing a little bit more with paneling. Chihiro is not as basic as I thought he was initially. I do need to see how he developed this level of skill with the Yoto. What happened to mom? What happened to rest of family? Are there no consequences for massacring scores of people? Where are the authorities? That scene was a bloodbath. However, this chapter was great, so I will be patient. I'm going to continue reading on the weekly. I'm excited to see what happens next. That's going to be it from me. Elsai Kanguru, Big Kumo out.